Greetings from sunny Orlando, Florida. I'm Lady Shasha, Mistress of the Snark, and this is my 10 for 10. Thank you, Trash Picture Show, for tagging me in your 10 for 10 challenge, in which the goal is to pick 10 different genres, name your 10 favorite movies in those genres, and to tag around 10 people. The first genre I chose is comedy, and the movie that I chose is Hollywood Shuffle. This was hard because I grew up watching some of the best comedies of the 80s. Many of the jokes in them haven't aged so well. I think this still holds up and is every bit as relevant today, especially when it comes to the representation of Black and Indigenous people of color. The jokes are also current. I probably do not go 2 weeks without quoting some part of this movie. Second category I chose is drama, and I chose One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I personally connect with this movie because I've had battles with depression that I was hospitalized for, and this is one of 2 movies that showed what it's like to be in a mental health facility in the US. The other movie is Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The way the youth psych ward was shown in that was realistic. Especially the group therapy scene. That was so accurate. Also, in both One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and A Nightmare on Elm Street, you know how they have that one staff member that is a total jerk? That's accurate. There's always one person who seems to get a charge out of antagonizing the patients. I don't shy away from speaking on this because mental health issues need to be destigmatized in the US. The next genre I chose was blaxploitation, and my favorite movie in that would be Superfly. This is another movie I kind of identify with. Should I identify with a 1970s drug dealer in a crime drama? I don't know, but Ron O'Neal as Priest is amazing. I would love to have that type of presence. There are 2 scenes I love the most, aside from that epic fence hop. The bean pie scene, where he tells those 2 guys who were being performative activists about what being a real revolutionary is. And this scene right here.
Chill outside now.
Yeah, we're here damn shit, man. What's so important he's got to leave now? I lost a lot of money here, and I want an answer.
We got a business.
What business? Answer me, you white-looking... Take it easy, baby. Take it easy. Just relax. And boy. Get your game going, House.
Come on, we're here to gamble now.
The next genre is thriller, and I chose Parasite. This is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just so well written, acted, and filmed so beautifully. So far I've seen it 3 times, and I noticed something new each time. The levels in this story are like onion layers being pulled back. I do hope that a dubbed version becomes available because I know people who would love to watch this but have visual impairments. Remember, not all people who are adverse to reading subtitles are just being xenophobic. Some of them actually have visual impairments like dyslexia or double vision that make it really difficult to read subtitles. The next category I chose was mockumentary. And this one has a 3-way tie because I believe these 3 movies should be watched as part of a series. And those 3 movies are This is Spinal Tap, CB4, and Fear of a Black Hat. These are must-sees, especially if you love music, but are disappointed in the state of the American music industry. These movies are the personification of the truth told in jest. The comedy hits because it's based on so many truths. Another movie that isn't a mockumentary, but goes well with these, is Phantom of the Paradise, which is a 1970s musical that also delves into the dark side of the musical industry. For the next genre, I chose science fiction, and the movie I chose was Dune, the 1984 version. My parents took us to see Dune in the movie theater when I was really too young to understand the story, but I was still amazed by the visuals. As an adult, I love Dune because of how different it is from many other sci-fi movies in that it talks about evolution. Often sci-fi movies about the future talk about technical advancements or societal changes, but not many talk about our continued human evolution or what that could be. The next genre I chose was musical, and I chose Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. As much as I love Johnny Depp, he isn't Willy Wonka, and this was disrespectful. Anyways, Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. Plus, I was the perfect age to watch this. I was about 4 when I saw this on TV, and I just loved it for the music and how colorful it was and the songs. As I got older, I appreciated the content of the songs and the moral about spoiled children and bad behaved children and poor parenting. Next genre is martial arts, and this was really hard because there's a lot of martial arts movies that I love, but I chose Rumble in the Bronx. I chose it because it was the first time that I realized how amazing Jackie Chan is. He's an excellent martial arts performer. I say martial arts performer because martial arts for movies and martial arts in real life practice are 2 different things. Real life martial arts isn't that pretty to look at. Martial arts performers make it look amazing. Jackie Chan is one of the best at this. He's also an amazing stuntman and has great comedic timing. He and Michelle Yeoh's dynamic fight scenes paved the way for the next generation of martial arts action stars like Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Yayan Rohain, and Chicha Yanin. Speaking of Chicha, she made a really cool movie called Chocolate, in which she played an autistic girl whose savant ability was to learn the martial arts skills from movies. In each fight scene, she used the fighting style of different famous martial artists, like Bruce Lee and Tony Jaa. But the scene where she imitates Jackie Chan's fighting style is one of my favorite martial arts scenes. The next genre I chose was action, and the movie I chose was RoboCop. Even though RoboCop is more than just an action movie, RoboCop narrowly surpasses Predator, Death Wish, and Invasion USA because it has the perfect combination of action, science fiction, elements of horror, and social commentary within the movie. The way it explores the privatization of the police force and corporate corruption is something I enjoy more now as an adult. As a kid, I loved the ultra violence. It was super cinematic. And I just now got a physical copy. I can't believe I didn't have one, but the reason why I didn't is RoboCop is always streaming somewhere. Right now, it's actually currently on Tubi. But I just wanted to have a physical copy of this one is actually the RoboCop trilogy. So I'll definitely be watching the first two movies in that. The last genre that I chose was fantasy, and I chose Labyrinth. This was so hard too because I swear the fantasy movies released when I was a kid were so amazing. The Neverending Story, The Dark Crystal, and Legend were great, but my favorite is Labyrinth because of the story, the music, the concept of the Goblin King, and how we're introduced to Hoggle. The humor hits on two different levels. There's something there for kids, but there's something there for adults as well, especially if you're familiar with Monty Python and Holy Grail. There's some jokes in Labyrinth that remind you of jokes that were in Monty Python, like the bridge sequence. I took my youngest sister to see it when it played at the Enzion Theater in Maitland, Florida, when she was somewhere between 10 or 12 years old. I think she was somewhat surprised when David Bowie started singing Dance Magic and the audience started singing with him. Just picture an audience of about 100 people yelling, "Smack that baby, make him bleed," at the same time. I also have a physical copy of Labyrinth as well. This was really hard for me to do because I love so many movies, and to narrow it down to just pick your favorite of each category was so hard. But that's my 10 for 10 for today. If you were to ask me tomorrow, I'd probably give you 10 different movies. Thank you again, Trash Picture Show, for tagging me on your 10 for 10. I will put the link to his video in the description so everyone can go and watch his video as well. And with that, this is who I'm going to tag. I'm going to read it off my notes, so if I look back and forth, that's why. Wordsmith Crystal Connor, Primable, Screen Stars, Your Entertainment Ticket, KMD Games, Jeannie's Movie Chats, Sexy Monkey, Talkin TV Podcast, Anthony Turner, Ryane O'Toole, Fuzz TV, and Hood Podcast. I will also put the links to their channels in the description box. If you were not tagged in this video, it's because I'm making 3 more tag videos, and I'm probably tagging you on those. But if you like this one better than the video I tag you on, feel free to do this tag instead. Anyone that's watching, consider yourself tagged. And that includes viewers who don't have a channel. Feel free to put your 10 genres and 10 favorite movie genres in the comments. I would love to see that. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Bye.
How you doing? Bitches leave.
Hey, did you know that I work for tips now? You could hit me up on Venmo or Cash App. While I'm happy to receive the type of coin that jingles, I love to receive the type that folds. Somebody show these people where the subscribe button is. They don't know what they're doing.